Good evening, everybody. Thought tonight I'd go over some basics on how I announce sporting events. I'm not here telling you this is how you have to do it or anything like that. These are just some principles, some basics that I use. And the first one for me, pretty straightforward: know who's playing. Gotta know who the teams are ahead of time, so I know who to announce, what players to announce, and I even go the extra mile, like, maybe not to the extent of TV and radio, but I do like to look up their records, so I know what kind of game to expect. And I remember a few years ago at a football game I didn't get to announce. I was in the press box, a high school game, and the guy who was announcing came into the box and didn't know who was playing, and this was about a half hour before game time. Not the way to do it, at least not for me. So that's the first big thing: know who's playing. Know the sport, know the rules of the sport as best I can. Know what's legal and illegal. Basic thing. Ask for pronunciations. I've certainly been yelled at many times trying to guess pronunciations of players. That's not the best thing to do, and I've learned from that over the years. Best thing to do there: ask a school administrator, ask a coach, which sometimes is easier said than done, but still, try to ask who I can about pronunciations. And at the college level, I'm very lucky, very spoiled, really, that probably 95% of the rosters have pronunciation guides. So that's very big. Add commentary when needed. And for sports like football and baseball, that's pretty easy. In between plays in football, in between batters in baseball, or in between points in volleyball even. Stuff like that, or figure out the right time to do it. Yeah, in a sport like basketball, just, in my case, make sure I don't go too far and distract the players or the coaches. I've generally been very careful of that. One exception a number of years ago doing Dakota Ridge hockey, when some opposing coaches didn't like what I did, and some authority figures weren't crazy about what I did either. Some of the people who oversaw hockey thought it was too far as well, that I was doing the full play-by-play, and some were distracted, some didn't like it, so I'm careful of that. Just, again, know when to add some commentary when needed. Some homerism, but controlled, and I am working on being a little more of a homer, in the sense being showing a little more enthusiasm when Regis University or Dakota Ridge or Golden or whomever I'm announcing for does well. But also, like someone at the broadcast school I went to and actually taught at for a little bit, like someone who worked there told me one time: controlled excitement. No need to be a screamer to where people can't understand. Also a good way to lose my voice, or anyone who screams would lose their voice. And I think about my junior year at Dakota Ridge, when I was obsessed with the sports program there. Later in high school, that obsession dropped down a little bit, only to pick up again after I graduated. But the point is, first football game my junior year at Dakota, they were at Douglas County Stadium, and the announcer there, when Dakota would have a 3rd and short or a 4th and short: "Hey crowd, how about helping out that defense?" That to me just goes a little too far. That's just not for me. And again, announcers who scream, that's just not for me. And again, a little enthusiasm when the home team does well. Just keep it controlled. And of course, this weekend, I cannot be a homer for anybody. I'll be at the Denver Coliseum doing some Final Four basketball for the Colorado High School Activities Association. I'll also be at Regis University Friday and Saturday for the RMAC women's basketball semifinals and championship game. And I've been very fortunate. My ways of announcing have led 2 opportunities, of course, at Dakota Ridge for this guy, my friend Matt Heckel, athletic director for many years. And then over the last few years, announcing the boys volleyball state championship as well as grade 8 and Final Four basketball for CHSAA. Even did a championship game, a basketball championship game last year for CHSAA for these gals, Lakin Cooper, who's now Lakin Crane, who's an assistant to Associate Commissioner Bethany Brookins. And 2 of the finest ladies you'd ever want to meet, by the way. Like I mentioned, still at Dakota Ridge for Matt Heckel and the crew. I also here for Golden, doing baseball there for Coach Jackie McBroom and the Demons, and here at Regis University as well. So I've been fortunate to have many opportunities at high school and now the college level. And these are just some of the basics I follow to this day when announcing sports, as I've done since I was in my teens. Thanks to all of you for watching. I'll talk to you down the road. Enjoy the rest of your night. Take care, everyone.